In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a valve cover gasket on your Toyota Camry. Let's get started. Using a 10mm socket, remove the two nuts for the engine cover. Remove the engine cover. Using a 10mm socket, remove the bolts for the ignition coils. Remove the 10mm bolt holding the wire harness. Remove the coils. These last two you'll need to unplug. Be careful, these plugs can be brittle. I like to keep them in order so I know where they went. Push on the tab and remove the connector from the ignition coils. Pinch the clamp and pull it back. And remove the hose from the valve cover. Using a pair of pliers, pinch the clamp. Slide it down. Slide the hose. Slide the hose off of the valve cover. Using a trim tool, we're going to pop these plastic stays off of these studs. And that's just going to give us a little bit more room on this harness. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to go around and loosen all of the bolts for the valve cover. Once you have all the bolts loose, go around and remove them all. Using a flat blade screwdriver, we're going to get right under the valve cover right here. We're going to use barely any pressure and we're going to pull up. As I'm doing a little bit of prying, I pulled up on this bracket right here and the valve cover popped up. Remove the valve cover from the car. Remove the gasket. I'm going to use some rags and go around the edge. Shove it in between. I'm doing this so while we're cleaning, we don't push anything into there. Using a razor blade or a light abrasive on a sanding block, go around and clean any of the gunk off of the mating surface. You want to be careful you don't scratch this. You don't want to score it. Using a clean rag and some parts cleaner, we're going to go around and clean the mating surface. Using a rag and parts cleaner, we're going to go through and clean the channel on the valve cover. I'm also going to wipe down this inside. I'm using a plastic trim tool inside of the rag. That'll help me get inside of the cover. Install the gasket into the cover. The flat part of the gasket is going to point up. You're going to put it into the cover. Put the cover off to the side for a second. One of the studs came out with the nuts, so we're going to remove the nut from the stud. I put the stud in the vise, clamped it down, and then we'll remove the nut. Remove all the rags from the top of the motor. Using RTV, we're going to put a bead of sealant on the seam. Do the same thing on the other side. Install the valve cover. Get the bolts started into the valve cover. The long ones with the washers on them are going to go in the middle. If your stud came out with a nut, use an E5 to hold the top of the bolt, and then we can install it. Get the stud snug, install the nut. Keep going around installing the bolts. Go around and snug all the bolts down. I'm going to start in the middle of the valve cover and work either side. We're going to torque the 2 middle bolts in the valve cover to 10 foot-pounds. And then we'll torque all of the bolts around the cover to 8 foot-pounds. Install the coils. Install the connectors. Get the bolts started. Snug the bolts down. Install the hose. Pinch the clamp, pull it over. This hose is cracked. We will replace this. You don't want any air escaping that hose. On the other side, we'll install the hose. Pinch the clamp and pull it back into place. Install the 10mm bolt for the harness bracket. Snug it down. Install the plastic harness stays onto the studs. Install the engine cover. Install the nuts. And snug them down. And you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.